Hello, my name is Tadallen. I'm a fitness and rehab trainer here in Atlanta, Georgia. I've been doing it for 30 years. And the purpose of this video is to introduce you to my exercise bike, a recumbent dual action bike, which is basically a modification of a Schwinn Airdyne. Explain to you the features that the bike has, the benefits in the market which I'm addressing. The first thing I want to do is discuss with you the seat. Since my market is primarily the baby boomers, the statistics involving us are simply this. There's 75 million of us. 2/3 of us are overweight or obese. We're incurring all the maladies that come with age, which is heart attacks, strokes, bad knees, bad hips, mobility issues, balance issues. All of those items are incorporated in this bike with the various features that it has. And what I'd like to do is to break down and show you the features that we've designed in this bike. First of all, I'm going to start with the seat application. The typical seat on a recumbent bicycle measures anywhere from 15 to 18 inches. You'll be hard pressed to find a baby boomer or anybody born between 1946 and 1964 that fits within those dimensions of a seat. Like I said, 2/3 of this unique market is either obese or heavily overweight. What we've done in this bike is we wanted to create an atmosphere of comfort and security for the rider. So what we've done is we've designed this 3-piece seat. It has the center portion which is heavily padded for the comfort of the derriere, and then we also have these 2 flaps on each side. The width of this seat is 30 inches. Which can accommodate almost every derriere out there, upwards in excess of 300 pounds. One of the things that we've done, because several of the baby boomers will have mobility and balance issues due to strokes or multiple sclerosis or things of that nature, we've incorporated these flaps, which, as you can see, adjust upward and inwardly in 5 different locking positions, and we can go from a 30-inch seat all the way to a seat that is 11 inches in width. Now, this comes in handy especially for people who've had strokes, because we want them to be secure on the seat, and this enables them to do it. Simply pushing these flaps in and releases them, you're back out to 30 inches. So anything between 11 inches and 30 inches we can accommodate. One of the other things we've put into this bike is a seat belt for 2 simple reasons. First of all, it keeps the lumbar area of the lower back compressed up in this bulging padded area. And second of all, for portions or for purposes of stability, security, we can take somebody who's had a stroke or somebody of that nature and put it in here, and the trainer, whoever's working that person, can in essence walk away for a short period of time and not be concerned about the client falling off the seat or losing his balance. Now what I want to do is I want to switch and I want to show you the neat function with regard to these handlebars. One of the most unique features of this bike are the handlebars. If you would imagine, the handlebar functions just like a leg. Let's assume that you're lying on your back. Down here at this pivot point of the bike is where you would have the hip. Coming up here we have a second pivot point which in essence functions like the knee. What this allows the handlebar to do, up and away from the rider whenever he's not using it, but upon initiation of movement of the wheel, the handlebars, and the pedals, this handlebar comes down and functions, pivots at this point to almost 180 degrees. Not quite, but almost. What this does, it enables the rider to position the handlebars when they're pulling it back toward him, up to the chest, down lower to the waist. You can even pull it up toward the shoulder area, so you can condition various angles of the body from the front, and depending on the length of the handlebars that you set, upper, lower, you can give yourself more pull or more push, which would in essence work the latissimus dorsi. Now the interesting thing about this is that in here in this housing there is a very large and powerful spring. So that when you release the bike handle, this compression damper will retard the regression of the handlebar back to its original position. If, say for example, the rider wanted to take and get a drink of water or change these iPod tunes or something like that, by letting go, this enables the handlebar to free flowly and come back up into its original position. I'll show you a little bit later when I have some of the clients demonstrate this, how this functions, okay? So what we want to do, these are the two main functions of the bike which are covered in its patent. It's uniquely designed. This accommodates the market what we're looking for, those which are large in size and or handicapped in some way due to a stroke, multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's, or something of that nature. Also, for the normal person who doesn't have any of these issues, the securing of the body on the seat makes them feel more comfortable and they can really get into it, especially when we incorporate some of the features I'm going to show you on one of the other bikes that we have. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to show you one more feature on a different bike that we have which addresses a lot of different needs, because most of these recumbent bikes, the Swin Airdyne, all the air things, are out there and they're a cardiovascular or aerobic machine. What we've done is we've incorporated a variable resistance mechanism on the bike which literally lets you incorporate muscle toning and muscle building features into the bike as well as aerobic features. Alright, let me break down and I'll show you the other bike that we have. Any and all, we'll sit down here a second, any and all air displacement apparatuses create resistance through the use of displacement of air with a fan. What we have done in this bike is we've added an additional factor to it. What we have done is we have incorporated a variable resistance function so that you can combine both exponential resistance created by the air and variable resistance by changing the gear ratio of the bike. In any one of these bikes, when I say the resistance is exponential, it simply means that the faster you pedal the bike, the more air resistance is created. Therefore, the more difficult the bike is as far as resistance, and creates a tougher workout. One of the things that's so magnificent about this type of technology is the fact that the resistance will accommodate the energy level of the bike rider. But what we have done, let's assume for example that you're sitting down at a bench press stack machine and you put the pin in at 30. And let's say that somewhere incorporated in the bench press machine is an air displacement fan such as this one right here. The way it would work is if you start doing the repetitions with a 30-pound weight, the faster you would go, the more weight or resistance it would create. Now, let's assume that what you could do is take the pin out of the bench press apparatus and stick it up to 60 or 70 pounds, and that's where you began your repetitions. You would have a higher level of resistance to begin with. Consequently, the faster you pedaled or did the exercise repetitions on the bench press, more resistance would be created. That's what we've done here. If you will look at this bike, we have incorporated right here at the handle the variable resistance apparatus. What you can do is by holding this right here, you can turn and click this little lever, which is connected to this cable, which goes down and changes the gear ratio at the hub, so that you can in essence change the resistance of the bike in addition to the exponential resistance created by the fan, so that you can have both variable and exponential resistance on the same apparatus. What this will do, and what we have done with this, is this particular bike has got 3 levels of resistance. We can put apparatus on this that has an upward to 20 to 25 resistance levels. One of the key components that this bike has enabled us to do is, in addition to aerobic or cardiovascular exercise, this bike enables us with the change of the gear ratio, which intensifies the resistance of the bike. We can convert this into a machine which both creates muscle tone and literally builds muscle simply by the manipulation of this handle. Just to give you a real quick example, if we're going along here and we're pedaling, as you see the handles come down here like this, I'm sitting here, I've got one level of intensity, a simple click, and it becomes simple. For a lot of people that we've helped rehab out of the hospital, you come down here to the next level and it makes it extremely easy. At the same time we click, it changes the resistance on the bike, so you have a variation of initiation levels for your resistance, and then we can come up here and we can go to the tough level. At these higher levels, or lower gear intensities if you will, it will enable a rider to literally force and push the apparatus, creating muscle tone and in many cases muscle building, especially when you have somebody that's got out of the hospital and they're weak or anything like that, or somebody that's obese and completely out of shape in the beginning. So you can start at one level, and as you progress you can increase the intensity through this variable resistance mechanism. No other apparatus on the market has this, in conjunction with exponential resistance created through the movement of the fan. Now what I want to do is these gives you a basic understanding of the features of this bike. Now I want you to see some of my clients operating and functioning on the bike as it was designed to be.
Here are two of my clients. The lady on the right is a Delta flight attendant, Sherry, and the gentleman next to her is Dave. Dave used to be a Pittsburgh Steelers football player. Recently he has rehabbed from hip replacement, knee replacement. He also slipped on the golf course and broke his right femur. Sherry likes to use the bike on a regular basis. You know, with Delta flight attendants, they have a test every so often where they have to go in and make weight, if you will. So she uses this for cardiovascular. I'm going to move around here so you can get an idea. And Sherry's approximately 5'4" and Dave is 6'4", and you can see that the bikes have been adjusted to adapt to both of their sizes. I've had clients on the bikes as tall as 6'7", and my shortest one is 4'10". As you can see, neither of the bikes are not operated by electricity. It's all self-propelled with the fan on the front. The resistance is exponential. In other words, the faster they ride, the more difficult it becomes. And if you'll notice, on Dave's bike, this one has an upgraded feature in that it has, if you will here, this one has a derailleur system. After Dave broke his leg, and also with his hip replacement and his knee replacement, he was very weak after he got out of the hospital. So the derailleur system allows us to start him out on a very light resistance basis, even less so than the normal bike that Sherry's on. And then as he gets stronger, all we have to do, like a 10-speed bicycle, is just the manipulation of the control at Dave's hand, right hand. It increases the gear ratio, which makes it more difficult and therefore builds his strength in addition to his cardiovascular. Of course, with these knee and these hip replacements, being on a treadmill or a elliptical was not a feasible way to rehab him. But these are two of the clients that use the bikes on a regular basis for the purpose of cardiovascular strength training. It also helps limber up the old joints. Philip is one of my younger clients. He's 47 years old, father of 2 teenage boys. Comes here basically for cardiovascular weight control. One of the things about the monitor that's interesting is since the bike doesn't run on any kind of electricity and you don't have all these hills and everything, the basic motivation is what we try and do is we want to burn 10 calories per minute. Now if you look here, Philip is on that pace. He's turned 17 minutes. He likes to ride for a half hour. He's burned 170 calories, so he's right on pace at burning 10 calories per minute. And in order to do this requires a speed of somewhere between 17.5 and 18.5 on the RPM. It's amazing how effective this is with regard to motivation, because you look down and you see that you're behind the clock, you speed up, or if you're ahead of the clock, you have the opportunity to rest and relax a little bit. But it's a very good motivator rather than having a lot of these, hills and loggers. And then afterwards we'll monitor his heart rate and blood pressure to make sure everything is good. And 99% of the time, the blood pressure that a client has after a 20-minute workout or a 30-minute workout is substantially less than what it is when they begin. Philip is vice president of his own company, under a lot of stress, and he finds that the bike is a very good way to relieve his stress and his tension. And as you can see, he keeps a good pace going, and he works one heck of a sweat up. Good, consistent. Philip is 5'7", and the bike is accommodated seat-wise horizontally and the length of the bars to accommodate his size. Like I said the other day in the last video, we can accommodate anywhere from 7 foot down to 4'10".
So these are my bikes. You've just watched clientele work in various different functions for various different needs. One thing that I have utilized since I've incorporated this bike is the key cornerstone of my entire fitness program for all of my clients. I have had clients that are as young as 14 years old to come in to get in condition for soccer, football. My oldest client right now is 87 years old, a gentleman who suffered a mild heart attack. He's had 2 TIAs. He's had one of his knees replaced. The doctors say he should have the other one replaced, but candidly, they say at your age, why bother? He has a treadmill. He has an elliptical machine. But because of his condition, none of these machines are adaptable to his specific needs. This bike is. After his heart attack, the doctor said that he needed a mild aerobic exercise program that also incorporated some muscle building. This bike doesn't. I, in addition to this, have tried several different areas of marketing to generate money with these things. One of the things that's big in this country today is spinning, the spinning classes. I mean, it's a wave. Most of you have built spinning machinery or bikes for the market. But the one thing that's interesting about the spinning classes that I have been to and observed, you very seldom see a fat person in them. There's one of 2 reasons. First of all, the damn seats are uncomfortable. a person weighs 350 pounds, sitting on that little bitty seat, even for somebody that's in relatively good shape, after a period of time rocking back and forth, that thing hurts. I have had as many as 5 of these bikes in here at one time, and I've had spinning classes for the obese right here in this room. And you get a couple of people in here sitting down, they feel comfortable, they're all in the same boat, if you will, that is overweight and struggling to lose weight. A spinning class for the obese with these bikes is something to behold. And we have achieved some very phenomenal success in weight drop with these clients. Another thing that it makes these things keystone in my business is I have younger people that are in relatively good shape that want to build muscle and strength. By the manipulation of the variable resistance mechanism back here on this particular bike, we can accomplish this. And one thing I did not mention when I was explaining to you this mechanism, and this is for trainers, this mechanism on this handlebar detaches, which enables the trainer to stand off at the side, holding the mechanism in his hand, and he can create an entire workout program for the client while they are on the bike. $3,000 for a nose job, my mouth doesn't work. Anyway, I am looking to get these bikes licensed and manufactured and out there to the general public. When I first developed these, I built 10 prototypes. I sold 5 of the prototypes at $2,500 each. Then I decided to keep the other 5 and utilize them in my business. They provide a very good living for me. I think it's something that can be applicable to the overall fitness market, ranging anywhere from the young to the old, and specifically the baby boomer market, which I am aiming at. If you need to find out more about the creation of the bike, how it works, and the mechanics, go to www.uspto.gov. That's the United States Patent Office. When you open up that website, go down to the left and look for patent search. Click on that. When the new page comes up, scroll down a little bit and look for patent number search. In that space, after you click that, type in 8113996. The bike will come up, the patent. I suggest you read once you get past the abstract and the claims, get down to the summary of the invention, go down and see the problems it addresses. The description of the problem is it. And you will see the various types of issues that we're looking to address with this particular bike. If you have any questions or you would like to discuss this with me further, my phone number is 404-664-6015. Or you can contact me via email at tadallen@comcast.net. I want to thank you very much for your time to observe this bike. I look forward to speaking with you in the future. Goodbye.